So hopefully you had a little bit of fun in your mind yesterday with this practice. And you know, if I could say one thing to you here, the power of the mind is unknown. It is truly unknown. There was a little anecdote I got a while back, and it said that in 1990 these neurologists discovered that they didn't know what 90% of the brain actually did. And then in 2015 they discovered that they didn't know what 93% of the brain did. So a very interesting analogy that really fits into my thoughts is that the more that we know, the more that we discover, the more that we find there's even more to uncover that's behind the door that you just opened. So it's an incredible fact, but you know, the more we know, the more knowledge we acquire, the more that we discover there's even more to learn, or the less we know. So have a belief that you could do this. The challenge is to know, or to at least experience that what you're doing feels better before then you explore it on the golf course. But take the trouble to run it through this method. Now for the rest of this week, again, in the idea of developing you to develop yourselves, I'm going to lead you on a little journey of the experts that I've come into contact with, and a few stories about them that hopefully will get you to buy the book, get the video, where you can go and listen to these people and learn what I've learned. There's no doubt that how I've learnt this information, I've put it together with loads of other information. So when I train the coaches, there's a few advantages to having all of this information in one place and being able to cherry pick the best. But I think that in my voyage of discovery, the first person that really started to change how I moved personally within the golf swing, and then also helped training the golf coaches, was Tim Gallwey. Tim Gallwey wrote a book back in, I think it was about 79, called The Inner Game of Golf. And it followed on the back of books, I think, of The Inner Game of Tennis and probably The Inner Game of Skiing at that time. And it was this idea that there was a better way of learning instinctively and intrinsically. I'm going to certainly add a little link to a YouTube video I did with Tim, and maybe a couple that he did in his younger days. So Tim did a video. He originally started off as a tennis coach, and he was the first person really to notice the advantages of not giving instructions to get people to learn. And he was hailed, that's probably not, he became slightly infamous within his area that he was a bit of a charlatan, that what he did really didn't work. So the NBC network, or one of the networks, went out to try and get him, set him up. So they went out to the area and asked anybody that had never played sport before, and certainly never played tennis, whether they'd like to learn. Because Tim was saying that, you know, he could teach anybody to play tennis without the tried and trusted methods of stand like this, hit like this, and so on and so forth. So they basically set him up to fail. And a certain young lady called Molly Grogan, especially, never played any sport, probably a little bit overweight, turned up in what they call a muumuu skirt, which is just this long skirt that drapes over you, and actually on the morning of the TV recording tried to pull out because she was so nervous about the whole thing. In this little piece that can be seen, that I'll try and find the link for, you will see Tim just getting Molly to focus in on the ball and notice what she notices, and within, I think it's about 27 minutes, she's literally serving and playing a tennis point with Tim Gallwey. It is the most incredible piece of coaching video footage I've ever seen, and had a profound effect on me. So this was after I'd read The Inner Game of Golf. The Inner Game of Golf I read on a plane. It was through reference of a guy called Robbie Wilkins, who's a great left-handed player coming out of Cheshunt. Played in a couple of PGA events, the Spanish Open as an amateur, and had learnt a little bit from Connolly, the one-arm swing, and he'd read the book, and it had an effect on him, recommended it to me. I read it on the plane, went to Villamora and shot a 74 around Villamora 1, which for those people that know it is a tough course, which for me was at least 7 or 8 shots better than I'd ever shot round there. And it was purely using the methods within. So tomorrow I'm going to expand on a few of the methods that are written in the book, and then encourage you to go and purchase that book. So in the meantime, have a great day. If I find the Molly Grogan link, I will set that up for you. It's well worth a watch. And in the meantime, stay safe.